If you've ever felt like giving your all to someone only left you feeling empty, this video is for you. Let's be real. We live in a world that constantly tells women to be authentic, transparent, and to share everything, especially with the man you're dating. But here's the harsh truth. Radical openness can be a silent relationship killer. It sounds empowering to lay it all out on the table, but in reality, some things are better left unsaid. Not because you're hiding who you are, but because not everyone deserves full access to your inner world. Not yet. Not always. And definitely not all at once. This video isn't about playing games or manipulation. This is about emotional intelligence, about power, and about preserving the parts of you that make you irresistible, magnetic, and yes, mysterious. There are 5 very specific things that a woman must never fully reveal to a man, no matter how charming, loving, or loyal he may seem in the moment. Why? Because oversharing the wrong details too soon can lower your perceived value, ruin long-term attraction, and give someone the blueprint to hurt you. So if you've ever asked yourself, why do men lose interest after I open up? How can I keep my dignity without shutting down emotionally? What should I keep private, even in a serious relationship? Then pause what you're doing, because you're in the right place. Let's break down the 5 things you must always keep to yourself, and why doing so could be the smartest move you ever make in love. Let's talk about the first thing a woman should never fully share with a man: her deepest insecurities. Now don't get this confused. Being vulnerable in a relationship is important. It creates connection, trust, and intimacy. But there's a difference between being vulnerable and being emotionally exposed. And that difference can either make or break how a man sees you long term. When you reveal your deepest insecurities, especially early on, you're handing over emotional power to someone who may not have earned it. You're showing them the blueprint to what hurts you, what breaks you down, and what makes you question your worth. Even the most well-intentioned man can unintentionally begin to see you through the lens of your self-doubt rather than your strength. Men are naturally drawn to confidence, not perfection, but self-possession. When you constantly share things like "I've never felt pretty," or "I always feel like I'm not enough," or "I hate the way I look without makeup," what you're actually doing is subconsciously asking for reassurance. And while reassurance may come at first, over time it creates a dynamic where you become the one who needs to be emotionally managed. That shifts your role from equal partner to emotional project. A high-value woman understands that her insecurities are sacred, not shameful sacred. She addresses them privately, or with people she fully trusts, like a therapist or a close friend. But she doesn't hand them over to a man like a test or a trap, hoping he'll fix them or make her feel better. Here's what most women don't realize. Many men listen to your insecurities not to comfort you, but to gather information. Consciously or unconsciously, they store that data. And while the wrong man might use it against you one day, even the right man can begin to see you differently. Less as a powerful, grounded woman and more as someone fragile, unsure, or needing to be handled. And that's not how true attraction works. When you hold back your deepest insecurities, you're not being fake, you're being emotionally mature. You're choosing to show your wholeness first, not your wounds. You're leading with your essence, not your emptiness. And that builds respect. It builds mystique. It keeps the relationship on a strong, steady foundation. So instead of leading with your insecurities in hopes that he'll heal them, lead with your confidence. Let him get to know the woman who owns her story, not the one begging for edits. Your insecurities are yours to work on, not his to. The more you respect your inner world, the more others will too. And that starts with knowing what to share, when to share it, and who deserves to hear it at all. There's a moment in almost every growing relationship where the conversation turns to the past. And when it does, it can feel natural, even necessary, to talk about the pain you've been through. But one of the biggest mistakes women make, especially when they're emotionally open or eager to connect, is revealing too much about their past relationship trauma. Here's the thing. Your past doesn't define you, but when you constantly revisit it, especially with someone new, you invite them to see you through the lens of your brokenness, rather than your growth. Telling a man everything your ex did to you, how badly you were treated, how long you tolerated it, how much it destroyed your self-esteem, it doesn't bring you closer. It builds a quiet narrative in his mind that you still carry emotional baggage, that you haven't healed, or that you may have poor judgment in love. Even worse, it can make him question his place in your life. Is he being compared? Is he expected to fix what someone else broke? Or will he one day become the villain in your next story? You don't have to pretend the past didn't happen, but you do have to be selective with how and when you share it. Talking about your trauma too early creates an emotional imbalance. It turns what should be a mutual discovery process into a therapy session. And while some men may listen with empathy, Others will listen with curiosity, with calculation, or with quiet judgment. What most women don't realize is that men are listening for more than just words. They're picking up on how you view yourself through your experiences. If you speak about your ex with bitterness, if you highlight how long you stayed in a toxic situation, if you frame yourself as a victim, you're unintentionally lowering your perceived emotional maturity. You're telling him, I don't fully trust myself in love yet. That energy lingers, and it changes the way he sees you, no matter how much he likes you. There's also the danger of making your past your personality. When you constantly reference the damage done by someone else, you start to lead with your wounds instead of your wisdom. And that's not what builds attraction. It builds emotional exhaustion. A high-value woman learns from her past, but she doesn't let it spill into every conversation. She reflects privately, she processes intentionally, and she shares her story when it makes sense, not out of impulse or emotional overflow. When she does speak on it, it's brief, balanced, and based in healing, not hurt. It's okay to say, I've been through a lot, and I've done the work to heal. That's strength. But reliving every painful detail, expecting someone new to understand or fix it, that's a trap. Because no one can truly love you from a place of guilt or pity. The truth is, your past trauma is not a bonding tool. It doesn't make someone love you more. It doesn't prove your depth or make you more real. What's real is how you rise, how you protect your peace now, how you choose better, trust wiser, and love smart. When you share your past too soon, you're not creating connection. You're creating emotional weight that your new relationship might not be ready to carry. Let your actions speak louder than your scars. Let your present reflect your growth, not your grief. And most importantly, give your new connection the space to be new, not a continuation of the pain you've already survived. Because you are not what happened to you. You are who you became after it. Money. It's one of the most uncomfortable yet impactful topics in any relationship. And while it might feel honest or even responsible to lay all your financial cards on the table, here's the truth. A woman should never fully reveal her financial situation too soon. Whether it's how much she makes, how much she owes, or how much she has saved. Why? Because money isn't just about numbers. It's about power, perception, and control. When a woman shares every detail of her financial reality with a man early on, she risks unintentionally shifting the dynamic of the relationship. If you earn significantly more than him, he might begin to feel insecure, emasculated, or like he has to compete with you financially instead of connect with you emotionally. He might start viewing you less as a romantic partner and more as a provider, or worse, a financial safety net. On the other hand, if you're struggling with debt or have limited income, revealing that vulnerability prematurely can create a perception that you're unstable, unprepared for adulthood, or that you're looking for someone to rescue you even if that's not the case at all. The way a man interprets your financial truth isn't always based on reality. It's based on his values, his ego, and sometimes his fears. Men often associate money with leadership, status, and capability. So when a woman hands over all her financial information up front, she may think she's showing trust, but she may actually be giving away leverage. A high-value woman knows that her finances are deeply personal and must be revealed gradually, with discernment, and only when the relationship has proven its stability. This doesn't mean you should lie. It means you should pace your truth. If he asks, do you make a lot of money, or how much debt do you have? Especially early on, you have every right to say, I'm financially independent, and I manage my responsibilities well. We can talk more about that when it makes sense. That answer is honest, clear, and still protects your privacy. One of the biggest mistakes women make is over-explaining, saying things like, well, I'm still paying off my student loans, and I had a rough year last year with credit cards, but I'm fixing it. Or I make 6 figures, but I don't flaunt it. These details may seem harmless, but they tell a man too much, too fast. You don't owe anyone your financial resume unless you're building a life together, and even then the conversation should be built on mutual respect, not emotional exposure. Also remember that some men are opportunists. They look for women who are financially secure, not to build with them but to benefit from them. If you present yourself as the woman who's got it all together financially, you may attract men who want comfort, not connection. And if you present yourself as someone struggling, you may attract men who want control, not partnership. Either way, oversharing your finances invites risk. Instead, let a man see how you move. Let him notice your discipline, your lifestyle, your values around spending and saving. These things speak louder than bank statements. Your financial life is a reflection of your independence, your planning, and your personal journey, not a topic for interrogation. So protect it. Guard it, and only share it when trust has been earned, not just when attraction is present. Because the woman who keeps her financial truth to herself communicates confidence, wisdom, and self-respect, and that's far more powerful than any number on a paycheck. This one can be tough, especially when emotions are high, and you feel deeply connected to someone. But one of the biggest secrets a woman should always keep to herself is her true, unfiltered opinion of a man's family. Now let's be honest, not every man comes from a loving, emotionally intelligent, or respectful family. You might meet his mother and feel instant tension. His sister might throw passive-aggressive comments your way. His father might carry energy that feels judgmental or controlling. And naturally, your instinct may be to express how you feel, especially if he asks. But here's the truth. Your opinion of his family has the power to damage your relationship more than you think. Even if he agrees with you, even if he complains about them himself, even if he seems open to the discussion. The moment you vocalize your dislike or discomfort with the people he came from, you cross a very fragile emotional line. No matter how strained his relationship with his family might be, there's still a deep, often unconscious loyalty that exists. You might think you're being honest, helpful, or protective, but to him it can sound like an attack. And what's worse, if the relationship ever hits a rocky phase, your words about his family will be the first things he remembers and uses to create emotional distance from you. There's also the psychological weight of feeling judged. If he believes you don't respect where he came from, he may subconsciously feel that you don't fully accept him. Family is personal. It's part of a man's identity, no matter how dysfunctional it may be. When you criticize his roots, you're not just pointing at them, you're drawing a line between who you are and who he is. That division can plant seeds of resentment. Over time, even subtle comments like "your mom always makes me feel uncomfortable," or "your sister's attitude is exhausting," can chip away at the closeness you've built. He might start to feel like he's caught in the middle, forced to defend you to his family, or worse, defend them to you. Neither option brings peace. It just creates stress, conflict, and emotional chaos. Even more dangerous is the effect it can have long term, especially if marriage or children are involved, because your words won't be forgotten. And when holidays, birthdays, or family events come around, there will always be tension beneath the surface, because what's been said can't be unsaid. The better path: be observant, but be silent. Watch how his family behaves. Take mental notes and decide how you want to show up. Not for them, but for yourself. Stay polite. Stay neutral. Keep your power in your ability to remain emotionally controlled. And if boundaries need to be set them with your actions, not with judgments or harsh words. You don't need to love his family. You don't even need to like them. But you do need to understand that your unfiltered opinion is a weapon that, once used, can backfire and leave a permanent mark. A high-value woman knows how to protect her relationship from unnecessary tension. She doesn't fake anything, but she doesn't light emotional fires either. She knows when to speak and when to hold her silence like gold. Because ultimately, you're not building a relationship with his family, you're building one with him. And if it ever comes to a point where those two worlds collide, let your grace, not your opinions, do the talking. There's one final secret that separates a woman who captivates a man's attention from the one who quietly loses it. And that secret is this: never reveal your strategic moves in dating. You might be thinking, isn't honesty important? Shouldn't I be upfront about how I date? And yes, integrity matters. But there's a major difference between being honest and being predictable. Let's get this clear. Dating is not a game, but it is a dance. And every powerful dancer knows the importance of rhythm, mystery, and timing. When you reveal your strategy, how you operate, what you expect, what you're testing for, or what rules you follow, you lose the very essence of your feminine influence. Unpredictability. A lot of women believe that explaining their intentions makes them seem mature or emotionally intelligent. So they say things like, "I never chase," or "I always wait 3 days before texting back," or "I'm only seeing one person at a time because that's how I build connection." While these might be personal truths, revealing them gives a man a cheat sheet to your entire approach. And once he knows your playbook, there's no mystery left, no intrigue, no subtle challenge to keep him wondering how you move. It's tempting to explain your behavior, especially when you want to appear clear and direct. But over-explaining your choices removes the tension that fuels early attraction. For example, if you delay replying to a message because you're setting boundaries, and prioritizing your time, that's a powerful move. But if you tell him you're doing it as a test or part of your self-worth journey, it loses all of its energy. Now it's not mystery, it's mechanic. The truth is, men are more drawn to women who have depth, who seem intuitive, intentional and calm, but not fully decipherable. If he knows exactly how you think, how you date, and what you're protecting, he no longer has to earn your trust or affection. He already knows the map. You want to keep him engaged. Let your actions speak louder than your explanations. Let your silence carry just as much weight as your words. When you walk away from poor behavior, let it be clear that you have standards, not because you said so, but because he felt it. There's also a subtle danger in trying to appear too strategic. When you openly discuss your dating rules, you come across as emotionally armored. And while you might think that shows strength, it can actually create emotional distance. It can make a man feel like he's in an audition, not a real connection, like he's being tested, not chosen. The women who remain unforgettable in a man's life are the ones he couldn't fully figure out, not because they were manipulative, but because they were intentional. They didn't explain their moves. They let him feel the result of them. So the next time you're tempted to say, "I'm doing this because I read it in a dating book," or "I'm not responding to test how much he cares," pause. Let your strategy live within you, not in your words. You are allowed to be thoughtful, selective, cautious, and even strategic. Just don't announce it. Don't advertise it. Don't turn your intuition into a script he can memorize, because the power isn't in what you tell him. It's in what you do. So now you know the 5 secrets every woman should hold close, not because she's hiding, but because she's honoring herself, because power isn't always in what you say. It's in what you protect. Let's be clear. You're not being manipulative by choosing silence. You're being wise. You're being intentional. You're choosing to guard your essence in a world that often demands women to overexpose, overshare, and over-explain, just to feel accepted. But high-value women don't perform for approval. They move with self-respect and quiet certainty. When you hold your insecurities close, you maintain your strength. When you heal your past without handing it to someone new, you protect your peace. When you manage your finances without making them a talking point, you preserve your independence. When you stay neutral about his family, you protect your position. And when you keep your dating strategy private, you remain beautifully unreadable. A mystery, not a manual. This isn't about building walls. It's about building standards. You're allowed to be soft and smart, warm and discerning, loving and selective. That's what makes a woman magnetic. Not just her beauty or her words, but her ability to protect her world without apology. So here's your empowerment tip. You don't owe full access to anyone, not right away, not even if you feel a deep connection. True connection grows over time. It reveals itself in how a man shows up consistently, in how he handles distance, discomfort, and boundaries, not in how quickly he can get to know every part of you. Keep your standards high and your boundaries sacred. Let a man earn access to your deeper layers. And remember, mystery isn't withholding, it's self-respect in motion. You are not hard to love because you're private. You are not too much because you have rules. You are not difficult because you move with purpose. You are a woman who has learned, sometimes the hard way, that not every man deserves full access to your soul. So protect your light, honor your process, move like a woman who knows her worth. Because once you do, the right people will never ask you to shrink, explain, or overshare. They'll feel your energy and respect your silence. And that's where your power truly lives. If you felt a shift in your energy watching this video, if you're sensing a new layer of strength or curiosity stirring inside you, this is just the beginning. This channel is your space to grow fiercer, wiser, and unapologetically powerful, and I want you with me every step of the way. Your journey toward true confidence isn't a solo mission. It's a movement we're building together. When you hit that subscribe button and tap the bell, you're not just following a channel, you're joining a sisterhood of women committed to claiming their worth, protecting their peace, and loving on their own terms. You're choosing to surround yourself with insights that sharpen your mindset, awaken your intuition, and help you move through relationships with clarity and grace. But it's not just about what I teach, it's about what you bring. Your voice, your stories, your breakthroughs, they matter here. Drop a comment below, telling me which secret resonated most with you. Did you feel seen when we talked about protecting your insecurities? Did the idea of holding back your dating strategy hit home? I read every comment because your experience is part of this revolution. And if you're ready to go deeper, share this video with a friend who's ready to protect her magic too. Let's spark conversations that raise the bar for how women support each other, love themselves, and build lives that shine on their own terms. By subscribing, you're choosing more than content. You're choosing commitment. Commitment to yourself. Commitment to growth. Commitment to living a life that reflects your value, not just your vulnerability. I can't wait to walk this path with you, to celebrate your wins and to hold space for your journey. So if you're ready to protect your light, elevate your relationships, and become the woman who doesn't shrink, doesn't apologize, and doesn't settle, I'll see you on the next video. Welcome to the Confidence Revolution.